It's the grand debut of the Baleno from Suzuki here at the Frankfurt Motor Show, and we've got the man who heads Maruti Suzuki in India, Ayukawa-san, joining us.
Thank you very much.
Very good to see you here in Frankfurt. Thank you for joining us, Ayukawa-san. The car is, of course, the big star here at the Motor Show. Tell us about the need for such a product in the Suzuki global portfolio and also Maruti's portfolio in India.
I think that the Suzuki global portfolio that we are expecting premium hatchback in the global market. Also, that in case of India, Maruti Suzuki doesn't have such kind of the premium hatchback segment. That's why we developed this model, and then to launch India, also the global market. This model will be producing in India by Maruti Suzuki.
That's the other big part of the story. I mean, if you look at the car, it's very contemporary, and it sort of obviously meets the needs of not just our market, but like you said, Europe. The intention to launch in India first. I saw the announcement here. It said that the European launch is in spring next year.
Yes.
But India gets it first. And then, like you said, it's going to be made only in India for the world. It signifies the importance of India for you.
I think that also the global Suzuki, that India is a very important market. Also, the volume-wise, we are number one in our group. We have to developing and to satisfy our Indian customer. That's why we developed this model, and then we producing it in India and supply to the Indian customer.
How soon would you start exports though? Because your demand in India is going to be pretty huge, I think.
Of course, we have to manage the volume production, but I think that Europe, we are starting at Europe at the next spring. The sales season in Europe is starting. That's why we want to manage our production for catch up at that sales.
How do you look at being able to just balance out your current capacity? Because, of course, every month you are still under pressure. A lot of your cars are in high demand, of course. And then this one's going to be another one to add to that list. So, given the fact that you'll have a huge domestic and an export target, how will you manage capacity?
I think that we have at the 1.5 million capacity in the Haryana product factory. And as you know, that we are starting at the project to Gujarat. That will be starting at 2017. We give us additional volume. We can manage our capacity.
That's still far away, which is why I was asking you. But before we know it, it'll be ready, I think. But
this year, next year, we can manage by ourselves in the Haryana product factory.
Give us a sense of the model development itself. What was the kind of cycle? What are the investments around it?
I think that this is a totally new model. Also implementing a new platform, a new powertrain, etc. It takes a little bit of time longer the development, but after implementing the model, normally the model range is at about 5 or 6 years. We try to renew this kind of model.
And the investments for the project?
I think the investment itself is not so much different than the other model. Maybe I think it 100 million. $100 million, something like that. That is a total investment.
But that's, of course, for Suzuki globally. It's not just Maruti.
Right.
Maruti specifically, of course, will be looking at this being yet another high volume model for you. What's specifically changing at your end to accommodate this model? I know that you're going to be selling it through the Nexa network as well. But given the kind of high volume demand, do you think you're ready with Nexa to be able to really cater to the kind of buyers?
Honestly, that in case of Nexa, just starting it, a project itself just starting. End of August, number of outdoor showroom is at just 55, something like that. We have to increasing that number. We are targeting at least at the end of this year that more than 100. But we have to, increase it furthermore at our network.
The reason I ask you that question, Ayukawa-san, is because if you look at the Indian buyer, they always look to see what Maruti is doing next. The S-Cross is a little more premium, so I can understand maybe a different kind or a limited set of buyers. But a car like this, you're going to get a lot of people walking into the Maruti showroom saying, where is it? I want to buy it. How will you be able to, how are you training your dealers to handle that kind of
Already we are starting at the training at the sales people and the service people. if we cannot do that, we are not launching our product. First, completed those kind of session, and then to provide it to our customer. Otherwise, we cannot keep the customer satisfaction.
Given the fact that this is an all-new global platform, and of course, like you said, there are some new global engines as well that go into it, and India is where you're productionizing it the first time, the future products on this platform, does India stand a good chance of being able to be the global supplier for that too? Maruti Suzuki,
I think
not
so.
India,
Yeah.
but Maruti Suzuki.
That will be the one challenge. That, as you say, that India have a very high vision about making India. In order to contribute that kind of mission, that we have to make it India, all component or products in India, and then exporting it outside. That is one challenge of this project. This car will be contributed to this to satisfy that kind of mission.
Because you have other products as well that I know the European market keeps talking about. There were the two concepts shown in Geneva, though. One has turned into the Baleno, so the second one as well. Again, from the point of view of not just the Indian market, but supplying to Europe, do you think all of that will start to come together for Maruti once the Gujarat plant is ready?
I think Gujarat plant is of course very close to the port, and it is a lot of possibility exporting model we produce in Gujarat. But first we have to start this model in Haryana factory, and then we have to consider the next step.
And similarly, Ayukawa-san, for the new engines as well, there's been again a lot of talk about the kind of investment Suzuki has made in the new engine family, not just again for our market, but here in Europe especially. A lot of interest around the booster jet. You will of course have to put that into the export model from India anyway. So what about making some of those engines in India too in the future?
I think that there are a lot of possibilities as far as that Indian market demand that becomes higher. We are arranging those kind of new type of engine for the domestic market. Sure.